Crystia!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fringe. We've talked in great extent about water restrictions and how I foremost believe that what's going on in Calgary was a blueprint for, I guess, nationwide restrictions when we talk about World Economic Forum style policies about restricting water, electricity, controlling food supply. At one point in time, I would have said this is all conspiracy theory, but nowadays, if something seems to be conspiracy, I always say give it 6 months, and it usually turns out to be true, in which case it is with Calgary. And we're going to get into some big issues that have happened in Calgary and why this may be what's rolling out to a city near you and why I believe we are at the worst of times. But before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to get into this video sponsor, Unacceptable Fringe Books. Unacceptable Fringe Books has something new and exciting to share with each and every one of you. Our newest book and possibly final book entry into our series of political satire books, Just Axe the Tax, a parody of Dr. Seuss's Green Eggs and Ham, is now available on Amazon. Over the last few years, it's been my absolute pleasure to bring you hit titles such as How the Prime Minister Stole Freedom, One Face, Two Face, Blackface, Blueface, Hold the Line, The Ballad of Tamara Leach, and How the Prime Minister Broke Canada. All of these best-selling books have been an absolute thrill to write for you, but with each book releasing, we always want to give back to the community as well and try to help Canadians in some shape or form and another. This time, I'm proud to announce that proceeds from every purchase of our books on Amazon will be going towards helping local Canadian food banks at a time when the Prime Minister has made affordability very difficult for common Canadian households. At Unacceptable Fringe Books, not only are we committed to giving you humor in political entertainment, but we are also committed to giving Canadians a boost at a time when they're in need or looking for some form of assistance. Head over to Amazon.com or Amazon.ca right now and pick up your copy of Just Axe the Tax and give yourself the gift of a little bit of laughter at a time when everyone in this country could definitely use some. Link is down below in the description. Now, just as the ad says, ladies and gentlemen, and just a reminder, every sale from our books now between launch and September 1st, not just with our newest book, Just Axe the Tax, but with all of our book projects, I'll be taking about half of my profits, I guess you could say, after costs and donating them to local area food banks in conjunction with Pierre Poilievre's message to help support those who are suffering due to Justin Trudeau's wacko policies, overinflation, and carbon taxes. So not only are you buying yourself some entertainment, but you're also helping those in need. So everybody wins in this situation. Make sure to click the links down below in the description. Go grab your copies of any of our projects as we get into today's subject, because I feel we're at the worst of times, we're at the end of times. I had a tweet yesterday. It came out and actually went semi-viral, at least viral by my Twitter standards. This tweet posted yesterday in Calgary. Ongoing water restrictions are still a big thing in Calgary. Now, keep in mind, we had the Calgary Stampede. Mayor Jody Gondek swooped in at the 11th hour, just as I predicted, and came out and said, hey, water restrictions are all wrapped up. We fixed the pipe. Water's coming in again. People can have the Calgary Stampede. We can use all the water we need to. There's all these people coming from out of town, staying in hotels, having showers. We can absolutely do the Calgary Stampede. And just as I said, when that Stampede moves, when it's gone, things are going to get pretty weak. Now, what's happened? And again, with this water main break, I know a lot of people have followed the water main break that's happened in Calgary. I've never once said that I believe that water main break was deliberate. Although it could be speculated due to Naheed Nenchi's lack of ability to conduct proper inspections on the pipe by waving those off. We all know that Naheed Nenchi has been a very valued member of the World Economic Forum, going as back far as I can find as 2011. But now we're seeing with Jody Gondek, the restrictions still continue. And this is where I say it's like pandemic 2.0. Yesterday, I went to pick my wife up from the C train in Calgary and down into a residential area. And I tweeted out here, waiting for my wife at the train station, I see 2 Calgary police cars stopping to yell at a lady for using her sprinkler to cool off her kids in 34-degree heat. Now, I did check my thermostat in the car at the time. Did say it was 34 degrees out time at the time. The kids look confused and sad. Great job, Jody Gondek. What a shit world we live in sometimes, and what a waste of resources. Good old Calgary Goon Squad, just doing my job, just taking orders, right? Well, here's the problem. There wasn't two cars. Technically, there was a third one. Now, if you look closely on the photo right about here, you can actually see the lady's head. I didn't want to photograph her house or the kids without consent, so keep in mind, I'm sitting the distance of this photo in my car watching this all go down. There is some confusion over the words I use saying that they, where is it here? They're stopping to yell at a lady for using her sprinkler. Now, what I observed when the police pulled up, this cruiser on the right rolled down their window, while the second one pulled up behind. A third one actually can be seen kind of off to the side here where the wheels are. They actually went and parked down at the end of the block after the police left, I'm assuming to ensure that they do another surprise sweep to make sure that this individual didn't turn their sprinkler back on. But the cop and the officer in this vehicle on the right here rolled down his window and began shaking his fist like this, pointing at the sprinkler. So I can only assume you're yelling at somebody when you say that, or being very stern at the very least, because nobody shakes their fist like this and says, "Madam, I would implore you to please come and talk to me at my car." That's just basic knowledge. But this tweet hitting over 43,000 views with 1,300 likes, 143 comments, 491 retweets. Again, viral in terms of what I usually see on my Twitter. I was merely posting out what was going on. Now, a lot of people had mixed feelings as to what was happening here. A lot of people saying it's the Goon Squad, it's just like pandemic level lockdowns all over again. And other people saying, well, the cops are misinformed. I beg to differ, because I've looked into Calgary's current outdoor water restrictions. This is where I say this is what the water main break was essentially a catalyst. Because what we're seeing in terms of the current water restrictions were actually proposed by Jody Gondek last year, and they were shot down. So essentially this water main break was a catalyst for her to put this in place and show the city that, look, hey, we can actually do this. See how it works, see how good it is. See how good it works? I'm going to go through some of these policies. I want you guys to pay attention here because this shows just how wacko this is. The pipe was fixed, keep in mind, the main water main was fixed before July 5th. So almost a month ago. The Bow River in Calgary, which provides its water, has the highest levels it's probably ever been. And all of a sudden, as soon as they fix that pipe, hey guys, we found some more problems. Oh, geez. Probably going to take us the whole summer to get through it, right? So let's take a look at these restrictions. As we continue to make progress on stabilizing the water distribution system following the Bears Paw South Feeder main repairs, we are gradually lifting restrictions while making sure water supply can meet demand. Does that sound familiar? Does this rhetoric sound familiar to you guys? We're gradually lifting restrictions. They've even got a nice little chart here showing stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. Stage 1 outdoor water restrictions are in place for all residents and businesses along with City of Calgary operations. Violations may lead to fines starting at $400. Our regional customers, including the City of Airdrie, City of Chestermere, Tsuut'ina Nation, and Town of Strathmore, also have water restrictions in place and are asking residents and businesses to reduce their water use. Well, car washes are still open. I know they recycle a lot of their water, but restaurants are still functioning. Hotels are still functioning. Nobody's being asked to reduce their water uses in hotels. But here we go is to the wacko restrictions allowed at certain times during stage 1 outdoor water restrictions. With a check mark, sprinkler use is allowed 2 hours per week during set days and times. Keep in mind, again, this was part of the original restrictions that were requested last year that were shot down. Sprinklers, hoses, and in-ground sprinkling systems can be used during the following sprinkler schedule. And even number addresses watering some days and odd number addresses on watering on different days. Why? Even in odd numbers of houses? Like, we have to break it down to you're allowed if you're in an even house and you're allowed if you're in an odd house on these days. You can split the 2 hours over the course of a day, everybody. It's glorious. During the designated times or between the 2 days, you are allowed to water as long as it does not exceed 2 hours per week. Now tell me this, I'm not a botanist. I really don't know much about lawn care, but are your plants and grass going to survive 34 to 38 degree heat? 2 hours of water a week? Keep in mind, we haven't had any rain in Calgary. That's significant since probably mid-June. Using an address-based set sprinkler schedule helps us spread water demand evenly across the city and effectively manage our supply. Part of the problem I have with this is that even if they found a problem somewhere in the line, you've seen before in other cities when water mains break, they bring in a water truck, they do the repairs over a day or two, they shut down just that one neighborhood where they have to do the work, and they get things moving back on. The whole city of roughly 2 million people having to shut down their consumption because of one water main? This far in? Inexcusable. Here's the sprinkler schedule. Individual unit or residence, use the last digit of your house or unit number. Multi-unit properties, use the street address of your building. If you're in an even number, you can use up to 2 hours a week, Wednesdays or Saturdays, between 4 a.m., 7 a.m., or 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., or 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Now, as I go back to this tweet, this was filmed or shot, I guess I took this picture roughly at about 4:30 in the afternoon yesterday. So the police, not bylaw, keep in mind, this isn't bylaw. This should be a bylaw issue. The police are sent with 3 cruisers to this woman's house to reprimand them. I won't say yell anymore because I know some trolls in the comments set off a massive thread about the term yell. Gotta love the internet. They went to reprimand this lady about using her sprinkler very sternly, I will add. Kids, while keep in mind, while this woman you can see again behind this car yelling, or not yelling, guy, I've got that word focused in my head. Well, you can see the woman behind her car here talking to the police. Over to the left of this photo, kid was disconnecting the sprinkler. Maybe like a 10-year-old. Looks sad. Family was just sitting outside their home trying to keep cool on a warm day. 34 degrees again yesterday. So they were within violation limits, even if they were in an odd or even number house, because it's between 4 a.m. and 7 a.m., 9 a.m. to 11, or 7 to 10 p.m. Multi-unit residential or business properties with more than one address are allowed to water on one even day per week and one odd day per week. So again, we're gonna shift the rules around. We're just gonna play it. This is again akin to the pandemic, like when you said we're gonna close theaters, movie theaters, where we could spread people out amongst the rows so that there's distance kept between each other. But we're gonna shut those down. But you can go to a Costco or you can go to a Walmart and stand elbow to elbow with people. No problem, no muss, no fuss. Right? Does this not seem ridiculous? Now, this is where I wanted to get to because this is where the rules make it even more wacko. Allowed any day at any time during stage 1 outdoor water restrictions. Watering gardens, trees, and shrubs with a hose attached to a trigger spray, nozzle/watering wand, or drip irrigation with an automatic shutoff is allowed. You can use a watering can, so you can fill up water in your house, essentially. You could get like a hose, connect it to your watering tap, and fill a rain barrel, right? If you really wanted to be a jerk. And then go fill it with a watering can. Do water your grass with a sprinkler or irrigation system. Sod can be waterized within the first 21 days of being installed. Lawn seed can be watered within the first 45 days of being planted. Again, having to know all of these ins and outs, like a specialist. You can use water for home renovation projects, washing surfaces such as driveways to prepare for paving, sealing, or washing prior to painting. And you can, this is the big one. This is the kicker for me. This is the one that makes the most hypocritical statement out of all of it. You can fill public and residential swimming and wading pools, hot tubs, and spray parks. Please try to use a pool cover to keep water clean and reduce evaporation. Here's the problem. So you're telling me I can water my grass 2 hours a week, but I can fill a hot tub, which has roughly, 300 liters of water. I can fill a swimming pool or a wading pool, but I can't run a sprinkler for half an hour with my kids jumping in and out of it. Like, does any of this make sense to you guys? Like, again, this is the hypocrisy of these rules. This is why I wanted to go over this and say that it's no longer a conspiracy theory. It's no longer what if. These are WEF style rules coming to your local town. If you don't think it's going to happen, we've seen other towns, other cities across Canada this year suddenly having water main breaks and ruptures, and whether or not those were repaired without restrictions, the restrictions will come. This is ultimately the first step of it. And we all know Jody Gondek's history with the World Economic Forum. We know her connections to those at the World Economic Forum. We know Naheed Nenchi's connections to the World Economic Forum, which, by the way, he's running to be the next premier of Alberta. Scary. Let me know what you guys think down below. I mean, I had to do a video on this. We had to talk about it. Do you agree with the police, the Calgary police, sending 3 cars, 3 SUVs to a woman's house over a watering sprinkler? Do you think this is an abuse of power? Do you think we're back in pandemic times? Let me know your thoughts down below. If it's your first time here, I hope this video has earned your subscription. Make sure as you're hitting that subscribe button, you click your bell for notifications. Join us live each and every Friday here on the channel for Friday Night Fringe, our live streaming show where I will definitely be talking about this week. I always look forward to hearing what you guys have to say outside of making these videos and everything that you have to say each and every week here on the stream. It is definitely the highlight of my week, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you there again at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central every Friday here on the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed this day, and I hope you guys do enjoy the day. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.